Does anyone have anything to add to the agenda? Okay, that's good. I just wanted to know in advance. Thank you. First order of business is approving the minutes of February 23rd meeting. And I just have two corrections on it, and both of them are when we're talking about Glenn Boyce, it's Cindy has John. I think John made the first motion there.
Right.
Change. And then on page 2, John, again, on the old business item 5, John should be Glenn.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Does anyone have any other corrections they'd like to make to?
Yeah,
change?
on
Yeah.
number 9, correspondence,
Yeah,
it said that Doug Hurd was the owner of Brookwood Apartments, but he's not. He's just he was just the manager.
no, Doug Hurd is the owner.
He's the owner? I thought it was
Yeah.
Brookwood something.
David
Brookwood
was
Lane
the
LLC.
manager.
Oh, David was the animal.
Yeah.
All right.
Doug Hurd is, lives out of town and up in Salem or somewhere like that, up along the Massachusetts North Shore.
All right. So that guy that came to the meeting a long time ago, that was Dave and not Doug?
I can't
Correct.
remember.
He kept bringing donuts.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I must-
that guy, yeah. Donuts and coffee from Dunkin' Donuts, yeah.
I guess that didn't impress me. Anyone have any other corrections to the minutes?
So,
Could I have a motion to accept the minutes of February 23rd?
So moved.
Okay, second?
Second,
Any other corrections, changes? All in favor?
Aye.
aye.
Okay, thank you. And I'd just like to remind you, we're paying $21, $22 an hour, so we'll try to keep it on the business. I'd love to be able to chat with you all, especially from down here, to find out what's going on, but I'll take care of that next month, I guess.
Well, we had a high of 67 today.
Yeah.
Hey, good. I'll keep that around.
Yeah, mid 70s on Thursday.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah.
Good. Okay, item number 3. Any citizens? No visitors today, I guess. So, and I don't have any, I just made my only comment was, let's try to keep it on track so that we don't waste too much time here.
Right.
And let's see, we're a low budget outfit, so we'll go on to item number 4. And the first on the new business, pump station maintenance.
Yeah, we're gonna have an invoice if we haven't got it already from Chaput Electric. I went in there around the 2nd of March and noticed that the hour meter on pump number 1 had not changed for a couple of months.
Oh, no
And
kidding.
so everything was working all right, but we've been, so I called Bill and asked him to check it out. He has checked it out. I went in there, checked it today, and we're hasn't changed much. We're 0.2 of an hour more than we were before. Roger, you and I changed the lead lag.
Yes.
on that.
Uh-huh.
And so I have yet to catch up with Bill to find out. He didn't change anything because I guess that's what's happening is that number 2 pump is running all the time unless it can't keep up and we get into a high water mode and
Right.
then the second pump comes on.
Yeah. Have you been there when it says pump number 2, which now was pump number 1? Have you been there when that's been running?
Yes, yes. Matter
Oh,
of fact,
okay.
I was there today.
Okay.
And, it's everything's going along. I just wanted you to know. I took it upon myself to call Bill. I said that's not right. And,
Yeah, it's all right.
but we seem to be getting I know, we've got about 65 hours of runtime, or 50 hours, I'm sorry, 50 hours of runtime on pump number 2 since the 2nd of March.
Wow. Oh, that's a lot of runtime.
Well, we only got 0.2 of an hour on pump number 1.
Yeah, so you think that the pump number 1 isn't coming on?
Yeah, I don't think it's being called for. And
Yeah,
I was under the belief that these would alternate back and forth, we'd
Yeah.
run. And I
Did you
just hadn't followed up on it. I'm sorry.
did you try switching the lead back to number 1?
No, I didn't. We haven't been getting any alarms. The only thing I got one, I think 1 or 2 alarms when we had storms come through for voltage spikes,
Oh,
but that
yeah.
was about it.
But I mean, if you switch it back, just to at least test it, switch it back to number 1 as the lead and see if the makes number 1 pump run more.
Well, I'll do that. I'll go ahead and do
Okay.
that.
Okay.
Hey, Stuart,
Yes,
when you do that, let me know. I think I'd like to meet you out there.
John, I owe both you and Paul an apology. I've got your keys, I've got everything, and I just hadn't, I don't know, I'm supposed to be retired and I didn't find enough time.
Don't worry. I've been busy with home improvements the past 3.5 weeks. So
Yeah. Yeah, okay, and I will call both you and Paul, and
Yeah.
yes.
Okay, so you work
So-
on that then, Stu, right? Okay,
Pardon me, Roger?
you'll work on that.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
So Stu, that'll just be a test, right? After the test, you're gonna put it back the way it is now?
Yes, I think so, because well, I might leave it in that mode for a day and see how the hours change. It would look like, if we have pump number 1 as the lead, that pump number 1 is not nearly as efficient as pump number 2, and it has to rely on pump number 2 coming in to take the excess flow. When we're using pump number 2 as the lead, it seems to be able to evacuate that wet well without any help. So,
Yep.
yes,
Yeah.
Paul, I'll
think-
leave it for a day or so.
But whatever logic circuitry there is that's supposed to, alternate it back and forth between the 2 pumps, either never, I mean, it's not wired that way or it's just not functioning. Would Bill be able to tell that?
Yes, and he should be able to tell me that. And I'm remiss in not getting a hold of him before our meeting to be able to report fully on it.
Okay, well, that's what, yeah, I'd try that too, to switching it back, number 1 back. Because I did a survey on like through 50 days, and it came down to pump number 2 was running 0.6 of an hour every day, and pump number 1 was running 2 hours every day. So that the hours were really gaining on number 1 pump, which is the left-hand pump at the time.
Yeah,
So, okay, yeah, and you gentlemen are welcome to go down
sure.
and just I don't know what you've got a quorum, so maybe just let Cindy know when you're going down, and then what time you leave there, and she can kind of list it as a special meeting if we have to.
okay.
Just to keep.
I mean, and if we need to cover anything in notes, we can document the time that we went down there, the day we went down there, and then we went down there to look at the pumps, and that was it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
So if anybody were to consider that a special meeting or something like
yeah,
that,
yeah.
We just add, no motions were made, no votes were taken.
correct.
Yep, that sounds good, Stu. Thank you. The service calls, like you mentioned, there weren't any. I didn't get any calls. Did you, Stu or Tim?
No,
No,
I haven't heard anything.
go on to see northeast placement. And I think you've got in your package, you've got a really a bunch of them of these are street cards or assessors cards. And that's public, these are public record. When the town hall's open, you can go in and get this kind of records in the assessor's office. I'll just break it down to you because I've gone through these. And it looks like the Northeast, what are these people? Northeast Placement Service. It has quite a bit of open space. They bought the house that belonged to a minister on 171. And along with that, there's individual sheets in here for 3/10 of an acre, 0.1 acres, and 1.3 acres and 2.2. The house itself on, it's the house next to the veterinary clinic, I believe.
Okay.
And it's, that's on 1.3 acres, and then there's a 2.2 vacant lot, 0.1 vacant lot, 3.8 lot, and then there's a 1.03. Oh, the house is on the 1.03 acres. And the 1.3 is a vacant lot. But that's on 171.
Yep.
On 169, there's quite a bit of property there. It runs from 312 Route 169 down to Route 306 169, and there's 1, 2, 3. There's 5 assessors cards on those with buildings, and they all have bathrooms. But it's funny situation here where when I get home, I'll check on these. 312, the post office, and 312, the big house right next to the post office, the South Woodstock Post Office, are both on, it says, the assessors card says they're on septic. But yet the buildings around those are on the sewer system, including that little building that faces into their parking lot. And so they get billed for 306, 308, 310, and 312, the house to the right of the post office, as you're looking at it, is listed as just office space, but I think there's someone living there too. So by next meeting, I should have a more precise information on these three. This property belongs to the placement service.
Okay.
Anybody have anything more on that, or? But I'm glad you brought it up last meeting, Stu, because it does warrant looking into.
Yeah, well, they've got quite a bit of property down there, I guess, that they've got hold of.
I didn't realize they acquired all of that property.
Yeah,
I didn't.
yeah. Oh, that whole area in by the South Woodstock Post Office, that all that is theirs. And then down, like I say, the minister that is still in the house, and probably got his name here somewhere.
Vander, was that Vanderman or Fan?
Just a minute. I might be able to bring it up here in a minute. Let's see. Oh, Elman. Elman used to, Greta and Paul Elman.
Oh. Okay, so if they've got have they got a grinder pump there? Because we might have.
They don't have, no, they don't have, they're all gravity feed into our system.
Okay.
So there's no pump there. The only time I've ever been called there was that little building that faces into the parking lot that they use for a workshop for the people. And they were getting some kind of smells in there one time, and I went down to see what they were talking about. We never did trace it to anything, and no one didn't give anyone a problem. So if it's okay with you, when I get home, I'll call up the manager of the placement service and see if we just get some answers to what they're doing there. What's, how many people they have living there and what places.
Good. Yeah.
Well, what about all that construction that we're doing in the back? I mean,
Yeah,
does
well,
that
that's
affect us at
probably,
all?
that probably is some of that vacant land that they've acquired when they bought the house on 171.
Yeah.
It makes a U right it makes a nice horseshoe right behind there, from 169 to 171. So, that's what we'll have to look into, and, I'll work with the building department also, just to ask them what's going on, if they have any records of anything.
So they own from Sawmill Pottery all the way to next door to the vet building, right? The veterinarian.
Yeah, but, well, there's two properties in there, in fact, what's his name there? One of the houses,
Oh, that ranch?
fella that used to go to the Congregational Church, still does there. Oh, gee, terrible to get old.
That's one of the Kent and Mary Weaver's daughter, whatever her married name is now, and her husband bought the old antique store right on the corner in that house that abuts it.
Yes, right,
on
that's right.
169.
Yeah, you've got the antique shop and, let's see, the antique shop and the house, yeah, and the house next to it, that's right, Weaver, yeah.
Yep.
Weaver.
That's not the name, but
No, I know who you mean. So anyways, we'll talk about, leave that on the agenda for next month,
Okay.
okay? Let's see, and Bruce Williams, did everyone get a chance to at least look at Bruce Williams's cover sheet, which gives a great rundown of what his report.
Right.
It was just more in detail. But Bruce Williams is a fellow we used to have do our repair work, and he'd come from Simsbury, somewhere out that way.
Suffield, yeah.
And he still does our auditing system. He knows our wet wells.
Yep.
And he'll go and look in each one and give us a rundown of how they look, and which we felt is a good backup to our experience, which as the board members change, our experience levels change. So it's nice to have something constant.
Yep. Now, the things that he's saying that need to be replaced.
Capacitors can be replaced, and what I'll do is I'll call Glenn Boyce, because Glenn, even though they're electrical capacitors, they just plug in.
Right.
And Glenn can replace the ones that are corroded, I believe.
Okay.
And the light bulbs, I replace those, because if we get you put out there to replace the light bulbs, it'll be $125 for each light bulb.
Right.
And we've got light bulbs in our Connex container.
Okay.
So I'll take care of those. And you have down there where it says number 2 pump off on 296 Route 171.
Yep.
I knew about that. That's a pump that the duplex well, which means it has 2 pumps in it.
Right.
And they're supposed to alternate also. And so one pump wasn't working, and Glenn couldn't get it to work. So we're gonna have to pull it out. And one of the new pumps there was one new pump in the Connex container. We'll have to build that back up to slide down the well. But Glenn can't do it. And if he needs help hauling it out of the well, it kind of gets us on his schedule too, so. In April, when the weather gets better, we'll work on that, April and May.
Okay.
And the broken vent flange, Paul, that's like the vent on the top of your cover.
Yeah,
And people hit them with their lawnmowers and stuff, or drop something on them, I guess, and can break them off.
Mhm.
So it breaks the plastic flange, and I've been rigging up something that it just holds the flange, the vent in place, because it needs the air from the outside so it doesn't get vapor locked down there.
Right.
So I'll work on that. And also he talked about Doug Hurd. We knew David is moving away. That's on the back of that single sheet there, the second page of it. He refers to David. That's the manager of those apartments up until he just hired a management firm to take it over.
Mhm.
And last meeting, we talked about, he was looking for an alarm company to
Right.
signal him when they had problems with it, since David wasn't going to be there. David lived right on the property.
Mhm.
So we gave him that. So it's going to answer to it's going to let the management company know they got a problem.
Right.
They're going to check it out before we get involved, so. And so I'll get with Cindy tomorrow, and we'll send a letter back to Bruce thanking him for the information, because it's nice that he thought about us when he was talking to David, and had the information, but we knew we were up to date, I think, on that issue. So I'd like to just thank him for it. And you'll see in the bills is a $2,900 bill. That's Bruce's cost of checking the 22 wet wells. And sometimes he does replace the bulbs as he goes, but I see here, a couple of those he's left for us to replace, so.
Yep.
We can take care of those. Any other questions on the Bruce Williams's report? And if you have any time through it, John, Paul, don't hesitate to call us, or
Sure.
call either Stu, Tim, or myself.
Well,
Any
the
questions?
panel that was painted over, what can we do about that?
I don't know. I'd have to take a look at it and see what we can do.
'Cause I think he
Hey,
said it painted
as I
over
was,
the switch
Yeah,
Oh,
go
sorry.
ahead.
well, but
Go ahead, Paul.
no, I think he said that they even painted over
Oh.
the switch.
Oh, okay.
as I was looking through it, I was reminded that 12 Davis Road across the street from me just changed hands. So there's
Oh,
new
did they?
owners. They just literally moved in like over the weekend.
Oh,
So we might want to make sure they get the paperwork about the grinder pump,
mhm.
and just a little heads up that
Yeah.
what it is and how to react to it and that sort of thing.
Yeah, I'll probably, or if you go meet the people, or you can mention that what our letter will usually say that just to keep them up to date on what's going on, that their grinder pump is a responsibility of them, and that we're here to assist them at any time.
Yep.
And that they can call if they have, and especially I'd like to talk to them beforehand. If they want me to come out, I'll talk to them.
Okay. If I bump into the guy, I'll mention all that to him. I just didn't want to ambush him on the first day.
Yeah, right. No, I don't blame you. And, unfortunately, real estate people don't know that, especially if they're from out of town.
It's true.
They're lucky to know that they're on the sewer system.
Mhm.
So-
Yep.
So, okay, so any other questions on Bruce Williams? If not, we'll go on to item number 5, old business repair services. We talked about that. I think Tim you were going to talk to Southbridge Tire, and I know I talked to Stu one time when just not on other business, but while you were down at Buell's there. So I know you talked to Buell. So Tim, would you want to make a report first?
I decided not to call Southbridge Tire because when I went on the websites and stuff, it just didn't look like they did or went out of their way to do plumbing, but Tassie's does. And, you know, Tassie's, to me, seems like a more professional organization, you know, clean trucks, clean guys and all that.
Yeah,
So I gave them a call.
okay,
And I spoke with the gatekeeper, and she said that she would, you know, relay it to the service manager. And I have yet to hear back. So I think it's time for a follow-up with them, you know, to see if they're interested or if he even got the message, you know. But yeah, and I did speak with a guy, just a plumber in general, up in Webster. I just saw the truck,
mhm,
and he's like, no, he wasn't interested at all.
right,
So
yeah,
yeah. So anyway, I think, you know, Tassie's. I think if we can actually talk to somebody, I mean, I think that would probably be a good bet if we can, you know. And I did mention that we would be willing to have somebody train them, you know, if they weren't familiar with the grinder pumps,
uh-huh,
and hopefully that would be, you know, an incentive to at least give me a call back.
yeah,
So,
yeah.
you know, because I think we could probably get Glenn to give them some training, I would imagine.
I think he would
so-
probably be happy to, I believe, but,
Or even Bruce Williams. I mean, just pay him to do it.
yeah,
And, you know, and get somebody on board, because Tassie's, I mean, they're not going to go away, so
Right.
there's,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
there's enough
I-
people there, they'll be around for a while.
the only reason I mentioned Southbridge Tire is because I know they do burners, all kinds of burner service and plumbing and well work, so I knew
Oh,
they
well
had,
work too.
oh, yeah,
Yeah.
they do
Well,
it all, so,
But Leo retired as a service manager.
yeah.
You remember Leo?
I
And-
I didn't work with them, so I don't have
Oh,
it.
Leo was great, you know. But now they have some kid in there who's the service manager. I mean,
Oh,
I don't
yeah.
think I'm that old, you know. This guy's got to be like,
Hey,
you know,
you'll be
21,
surprised.
22 years old or something. I mean, he's, you know, to me, he didn't have the, you know, the experience that Leo did.
Yeah, yeah,
And, you know, so I just
okay,
decided to call Tassie's. If
Yeah.
I don't make out well with Tassie's, then of course I'll give Southbridge Tire a call and, you know, make some more calls around if I can't get, you know,
Yeah.
some satisfactory
Okay.
responses.
okay,
Yeah.
so we'll leave this on the agenda for next, meeting also. Stu, did you
Yeah.
have
Yeah,
anything?
I followed up with,
Aaron?
who's our guy that pumps our septic systems now down there in Downson,
Aaron,
Parent sanitation?
Parent, yeah. Parent,
Yeah.
they don't do any service anymore. They're just in the pump business, and they were very helpful, directed me to a gentleman down in Jewett City, and I spoke to him, and he quite honestly said, I'd love to do it, but I don't have the manpower
Okay, yeah,
to be able to service you. And so he said, and then he pointed me, we bought the grinder pumps from Blake, and he said, you know, they do service. Well, I called, followed up with that, and they do not do that kind of service.
okay,
They will service larger industrial pumps, but not individual grinder pumps.
oh, okay, yeah, all
So,
right. So, now, let's see, we can probably talk about, the, service at the, pump station also at this time. Did you talk to Buell about,
oh yeah, I'm
His
sorry.
thought of- his
You
thought of
woke me up.
retiring?
You're getting an elderly fella here sleeping. I'm sorry. Yeah, I spoke with John, and he he's not going anyplace. He's sitting there. He's got a couple of good people working for him, and he said, "Jesus, as long as you got business, I love to do business with you." So he
Okay,
he is ready, willing, and able. And although he can get a little frustrating when we're doing annual service, if we've got if the balloon flies up and we got an emergency, he'd jump right on it.
Oh, good. Okay, I have no problems with him. I just thought at one time I heard he's not doing the school buses any longer, and I felt that he was trying to downsize a little bit. So.
Yeah, well, the school buses thing came along because of because they went to that contract with who is it, DACO or whoever's running the buses now.
DATCO.
Yeah.
DATCO.
Yeah,
So they're-
and
they have
and
their
they
own
want
service.
they did ask him to do the service on the school buses, and as he told me, he said, I told him I'd love to as soon as they pay the bill they owe me for a couple of years. So
Ooh.
Okay. He didn't hear from them again, huh?
no, they didn't call back right away.
Okay, I guess we can jump down to number six there, maintenance updates. The only thing I have to report on those that the Brookwood Apartments pump I'll be working with Glenn to make sure we get that one installed so they're running on two pumps in their duplex systems. We want to put in a new pump at the main pumping station at the fairgrounds, right?
Right.
And I've talked to Putnam, and they're willing to do it in the spring when the weather's better. So we can get them like Mike Blackmar and his crew back up there, and they'll install take the old one out and put in the new one. And just between
Like
us
at the pumping
boys,
station?
I think they didn't charge us the last time I had them out there. They pulled out the pump and untangled a real mess on the pump, and then we put it back in. We tested to make sure it was working. So that's the pump we pulled out there, Stu. That
Right.
number one, that had the ball of, looked like a mop head down there on it almost. And untangled that. We tested it while it was up above ground to see if it worked, and it was working okay, and set it back down, so. So
Okay,
I
well,
think,
I'm sorry, go ahead, John.
I think it warrants a call to them to get them over there to take a look at why it isn't functioning.
One
Well,
at the fairgrounds.
Yeah,
yeah,
at the
in
fairgrounds.
our
right.
pump station, we've got that rebuilt pump sitting in there, and we'll just because of ours, the number one pump probably, is that the one that you said we had rebuilt before?
No, I think we bought a new pump, and that's the new pump.
Oh,
I believe it is.
Yeah, we did buy
And
a
then-
new pump.
Pardon?
yes, we did.
Yeah, we did buy a new pump.
Yep, and then we got one rebuilt, I believe.
Well, we got one rebuilt setting in the pump station.
Okay, is that the latest one? I thought,
Yeah, that's the
okay,
one that Phil rebuilt.
okay. So we have a backup, but that's the one we want to put into the position of number one pump there. So,
And
So
I
what-
haven't
what-
forgotten about that safety rail.
oh, yeah. I've got a
So-
booklet on that. I'll bring with me when I come home there. We can talk about it, Tim. Had all kinds of fencing around it besides grading. So what we're talking about, John and Paul, it's a safety, what I think is a real safety issue down there at our pumping station. When you get down there, you'll see
Yep.
how big a drop it is to the bottom of that wet well. It's not like the standard one at your house, Paul.
Yep.
This one is deep and big.
Yeah,
And-
I saw it when I was there with you.
Oh, okay, yeah, and it worries me that we get someone like someone from Parent Sanitation. Those guys work alone, and we have to unlock the gate to them. So I'd never let a guy work alone down there. If he ever went down that pump, we'd have OSHA all over us. And we were talking about getting some kind of a safety, either a grating on there that's underneath the door that closes, or a
Well-
fencing around there.
Yeah, he didn't want the grading. He figured he couldn't do anything with the grading in place.
Yeah,
So that's why we do have a design for the rail system up above.
uh-huh,
You know, I sent you the sketches for that.
Yeah.
That we worked out with Rawson.
yeah,
But it's just a matter of, and I had the companies, you know, to purchase the tubing and the elbows and all that fitting stuff from,
right,
and then I lined up with Ernie Nowakowski over in Phoenixville to turn the little stubs that go down into those holes. So
uh-huh,
it's just a matter of getting the whole thing together. So I think it was
Okay.
about $1,000 or something for pieces and parts.
yeah.
Uh,
Okay,
but,
when we get a design, we'd like to present it to the board to make sure we're all in
It's already
agreement.
been done. It's already been presented.
Oh, okay, all right. I
Yeah.
have a short
Because-
memory. It's good memory, but it's
Yeah,
short.
Because I was down there with Andrew from Parent Sanitation, and I described to him what I wanted to do, and he's like, "Yeah, that's a good idea." He said, and to put the rail, he told me where to put the rail going across, you know, based on how he works. So
Yeah.
it was, designed around, what he does, because he's the one that's at that opening most often. If you've got a crew there pulling a pump out, they may not even want the thing in place and may pull it away.
Yeah,
But it is removable, so they can do as they please.
okay.
So
We first, for John and Paul's information, we started out talking about a grating underneath the door there. Maybe it came out in 3 pieces so they could, remove one and put their hose down there and work. But we had the company down in Killingly.
Boudreaux's Welding.
Yeah, right, that's on Route 12.
Well,
Stu?
Dayville.
Yeah, okay. And he was all set to do something and he faded away. I think they got busy with big projects is what happened. Anyways, okay, Tim, if you'll continue on that, we really should do something,
Yep. Okay.
okay? The next, anything else on grinder pumps, repair and maintenance? Oh, and Tim and I will get to Line Master. We're gonna remove 2 pumps, where the restaurant used to be. They have a duplex well there and there's 2 pumps in it. So we're gonna be pulling those pumps out in the spring.
Okay, well, we got 3 grinder pumps in the Connex box now.
Yep.
1 rebuilt and 2 new.
Good, good. So, and then with those 2, we'll have them looked at, inspected, and make sure they're good before we put them there to say we can use them.
Right.
I think they have little wear on them, or much less than most of our pumps, so they'd be worth looking at. Let's see, anything else? Let's see, I guess we'll go right to flow reports. And I was looking at those and it doesn't look like Stan is sending you the information there, Cindy, I guess. Cindy?
Can you hear me?
Don't go home. Yes. Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay,
Whoops.
so, yes, I received data on the weekly meter readings up through, let me see here, is it the end of
February.
Yeah,
February? So, and then I was on vacation the beginning of March.
okay,
So
all right.
I-
Yep.
I decided to wait until next week or the week after to kind of get some more numbers from him.
Okay. I may just call Stan anyways. I've not talked to Mike. I'll just call Stan and just ask if he can make sure he sends both me and you a copy of them, because I like to look at them also, and where we may not have you sitting there, I'd like to be on the list to keep continuity anyways.
Sure. And Stan was the one who sent me the last grouping.
Oh, good. Okay, so he's back up and running. Okay, so we don't have any flow to report other than, we should have, once we get to, looks like March 22nd, we should be, let's see, is that today? Oh, that's yesterday. So
Yep.
that,
Yesterday.
yeah, Sundays, Sunday is probably where they'll cut it off and send us a bill. So we should have a bill in the mail within the next 30 days. For the last quarter.
Yep.
So. Gotta turn on the light, see what I'm doing here. It's getting dark here. I don't know about there.
Dark out here.
Dark?
Not behind you, John.
I know it. He looks like he's,
Yeah, the
I'm
leaves
thinking
haven't
happy
even
thoughts
fallen.
looking at.
The
Go
leaves
ahead.
haven't even fallen.
So you've got the copies of the rain data though, right, sitting there. And,
Just so you know, there was no change from the last report.
oh, okay.
Yeah, it's February as well.
Yeah, February stayed at 285 and so now we're into March. So. Okay, thank you, Cindy. Let's see, we'll go on to, I just meant to, next, when I get back the 1st of April, that week, I'll be reading the meters of the 12 meter customers. But I think we're gonna find quite a much lower reading from the total of them because of the schools not being in process as much.
Full
And-
operation, right?
Pardon?
In full operation.
Yeah, right. Even when they are, they're not. And at our last meeting, we questioned the third quarter reading on the elementary school.
Right.
And I'll double check on those. Every one of those meters in all the places, the meters are always either hard to reach, hard to see. Most places need either a step ladder or get down on your hands and knees to look at them.
Yep.
And the light isn't always that good, so I may have interpreted the wrong numbers or they just had that lower reading because of the less use at the school.
Mhm.
I'll let you know at our next meeting because I'll have the quarterly readings at that time. And let's see, rain data, payment of the bills are the next thing on the agenda there.
Do we have anything that's been added to this list that's come in?
Not that, I was talking to Cindy today. She didn't mention anything. Do you have anything, Cindy?
No, what you see is it for now. Yep.
I'd move to approve the payment of the bills as submitted.
I'll
For a
second
total,
that.
okay, for a total of $7,765.16.
Correct.
Okay, thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. And
Sorry, Roger, I didn't hear who seconded that motion, please.
I
Who's
did.
that?
Tim did.
Tim,
Tim.
Okay, thank you.
okay, thank you. The next thing is the budget. Does everyone have the copy in front of them? Because we're doing real well on the budget. There are a couple of categories where we've bought the pumps and we've had the radiator changed and things like that. But most of them were in right within our budget. What I'm figuring is looking at the readings that we have on the sheet and I figure the next bill that comes should be somewhere around $40,000 or a little bit more, which will be the fourth reading of our of our year.
Yep.
So I think that 180,000 looks good. I'd like to leave it at 180,000. If we have some peak flows, we want to be able to cover it. And otherwise, and if we could, next at the next meeting, I'll bring in suggestions where we can move money around to just change the budget, readjust it to be able to cover those things. And we're going ahead and pay them, so it isn't holding anything up. But if you look down here, for Cindy's salary there, our hourly rate there, I figure we're going to be somewhere as $2,000 to the plus on that one by the end of the year. And let's see, the lift station, for CL&P, and that also includes the solar.
Yep.
That probably be about $1,000 less than the 3,000 that we've got there.
When does the new year start?
July 1st.
So even with their rates going up,
Yeah, this last bill we just have on here, the $353 bill. We should be good until the end of the year, and I think even with the rates going up with our solar bill, that if anyone can figure it out, you're welcome to try. We get a solar bill at a different time than we get a bill from CL&P,
right?
our Eversource.
Eversource, yeah.
And that one, but it looks like every other month, Eversource doesn't charge us anything. I can't quite get a handle on which way, and I haven't sat down with any of the town hall staff because we're included in that big display of solar panels up at the transfer station. And so we get a rebate, but we also get charged
Right.
through them, whatever their bill is, I guess. So
Mhm.
I can't explain that one to you. And let's see.
How long has the solar array been in place at the transfer station?
About I don't know, 3 years.
3 or
Stu?
4 years.
Yeah,
All right.
something like that.
How
And,
long does it take?
it took us a while to figure out that we were included on there's 7 buildings. And I guess we're included in the solar array there, that the schools,
Yep.
the town highway department,
Yep.
town hall, and us, for some reason, they put us in there. So
The pumping station.
I don't know how we didn't get involved, just like most of the things that happen in town. If it has anything to do with us, we weren't notified. So
Yeah.
I can't help you on that situation. There were a couple of things here. Oh, if you could go over the page 2 on the budget there
Mhm.
and go down to grinder pump operation.
Yeah.
We're gonna be on that one because of the bill we paid there. We're going, that figure where it says $309.07. That should be now in the red, $3,798.93.
Ooh.
So we'll have to transfer money from other accounts to cover that also. And this is all on paper. We don't feel that we're not going to be shorting any of our suppliers or cheating anybody out of
No, we're paying our bills.
a bill, right? Yeah.
Well, that's, I mean.
Well, we haven't spent anything on engineering services.
No, on what, a question I have is Bruce Williams up here. It's in grinder pump operation, the first one, 500.00.285. If
Yep.
you look, the $3,000, that's what we put there for Bruce Williams. And it shows that it's already been spent. Now, he does his inspections usually just before Christmas or in the Thanksgiving to Christmas time frame.
Yep.
And we usually pay that bill in the year that he does the work. And so the 3,000, I'm wondering where that came from. I was going to ask Cindy to check with, not Karen, but Diane. And
Roger, could you explain that? Because I show that line item as not being spent at all.
Yeah,
That
yeah,
there's
Yeah,
a-
that's what I see. Yeah.
let's see.
That's the
Oh,
balance.
no, wait a minute. Which, this
Got
is,
a balance.
this is 500.
285. You have nothing.
Oh, okay, I'm looking at it backwards. All
Yeah.
right, yeah, it
We
has,
still got a $3,000 balance in that.
yeah, right,
Line
yeah. I was looking, for some reason, that one I picked out as being a question mark. Yeah, okay, so we still have the 3,000, we have we can pay that $2,900
Right,
bill.
your big ticket overcharge was 500,289 lift station maintenance.
Station maintenance, on page 1,
Page 2,
page 2.
500.289. That's when you went over budget. 4,000 in
Yep.
red.
Right, well, that one was when we had the radiator
Right,
replaced and and I think we probably the rebuild of the pump
Yeah, that's what it
was
looks like
also
to me.
included
Right.
in that. So we'll just we'll have to.
But I
don't
mean-
know what- yeah.
you don't expect for this upcoming year to have anything that big hitting you for the lift station, right?
No, well, no, we don't. We don't expect anything anywhere near that. So we would keep that at the
3,500.
3,500, and if we decide to do something like the safety fence around it or grading or whatever we do,
Yep.
we'll take it out of that type of a
Yep.
system.
Well, that expense was approved some meetings ago for, I thought it was going to be around $1,000 because we didn't want to go with the quote from DB Cotton, which was like $1,785 or something like that. It was like kind of outrageous for what they were going to do.
Mhm.
So we just
Yeah.
thought we'd get either me or the highway department or something to cut that tubing up and put it together with those clamp things, which
Right.
is a perfectly adequate safety rail.
Yeah. So anyways, that figure would take care of anything we did for safety equipment.
Roger, I have detail on that line item if you wanted to know what was pulled out of that lift station maintenance line.
Lift station, okay. Do you have you want to explain
Yeah,
that?
so there
then?
was a $2,500 charge at Pila Electric for motor shop repair parts.
Rebuild of the pump.
Rebuilding a pump, a motor.
Yeah.
And then Kinsley Power Systems for $3,817 for the repair of the generator.
Okay, yeah, that was the radiator there, when they replaced the radiator on there. Okay,
And
that's what
then
I,
there were a couple of small to put electric ones for a service call and a breaker service call. And then Kinsley went back and did something for $658. That was a service call. Something was shutting down.
I think
Yeah.
the 600 and something dollar call was maybe prior to the replacement of the radiator.
Theater?
Yes, it was
Yeah.
back in December.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
It's
Oh,
just that
okay, yeah,
these,
that's when,
the
that's when
line
the
items get
generator
cut
was,
off, so
excuse me, Cindy, go ahead.
I can't read the whole description because it gets
Oh.
cut off in this
Yeah.
report, but yes.
That's okay, yeah, I think, yeah, you jogged our memory there, thank you. Any questions on anything else? And like I say, I don't see any reason we should be thinking of raising the rate. We still are a little bit slack on our capital improvement fund. We went 5 years without changing the rate for the customers. And so we drew down on our capital fund quite a bit. So I would suggest when we won't do it this meeting, but when we look at a budget and we take a vote on it, that we not have to raise the rate. I'd leave it the way it is, and it would build up our fund again, a rainy day fund, in case something big comes along.
For capital improvement, for capital work, yeah.
Pardon? What's that,
Yeah,
John?
for capital improvements.
Yeah.
For capital improvements?
Capital improvement or mainline, the way that reads in our policy and procedures is that it's capital improvement. And we're supposed to have that separated out, but because of the way the town keeps our money, it's all in one fund. So we try to keep it, when we look at the figures on page 3 there, try to keep enough buffer in there to include that.
Right.
So anyone have any questions on the budget? And as I say, we'll just transfer funds to even out this budget next meeting, and then look at a budget that we'll think we'll be able to cover with the income that we have.
So you're thinking that an expense budget of 218,000 and change is probably safe for this coming year?
It would be, yes.
Right.
Paul, any questions? If either one or anyone that has a question on it, we can give us a call and
Sure.
we'll try to explain it, because I know I like this way Cindy came up with this. It's a little bit easier to read than the one that Peter had. And I really appreciate this, because I can, even though I looked at one figure that thought was 300 overspent, my eyes were looking in the wrong category.
And this is a self-sustaining budget, because
Yes,
the
yes,
money that you spend is based on the revenue you take in from users.
that's it.
You take in an excess of money from users that goes beyond your expenditures every year, so you've got a cushion, which is a good thing.
Right, that's about it. We're supposed to, the way the system worked was when everyone was paying off their connection fees within the first 20 years,
Mhm.
The money any money over that went into a slush fund for mainline maintenance.
Yeah, capital reserve.
If something really malfunctioned in the main line.
Correct.
And at one time when the academy joined the system, we got a huge payment from them, like 200, when I say huge, I think it was 200 and something thousand that they paid for a connection fee.
Right.
And but through the years, that's been drawn down on a little bit by not raising the fees. So I'm trying to get that back up to where it's,
Yeah.
it should be at least a 100,000 in there, I believe, to be able to take care of. If we have a main line break,
Yeah.
our lines are getting, and the lines have, the material and new lines have changed so much.
Yep.
That the inflow is one problem, but if it's in a strategic area, like down near the fairgrounds, we're gonna have to do something in a hurry and replace a line if it's leaking down there, because
Right.
that, a lot of that water goes into Rosen Park.
Yep.
So, any questions on any of that? If not, let's see. We'll, I like what Cindy's been doing is just the things that we've signed up to do. She sends out an email to everybody of what's on the agenda. So what's we've got in the ahead of us. So we'll do that, and we'll get a letter out to Bruce Williams. And Cindy, do you have any comments you'd like to add? Any questions?
Yes, just one thing that, oh, I just forgot his name, the gentleman from Brookwood Apartments.
Oh,
Bird?
Hurd, Bill,
Oh,
Doug.
Doug, yes.
Doug Hurd.
He did,
Yeah.
after sending out a second notice of payment due, he did send a check in, so that's been deposited back into one of our line items.
Okay, that was $700 and something, I think, right, Cindy?
Yes,
And we charged him for that repair and work that we had Chaput and Glen Boyce and some newer pieces in there, so it added up. Any questions, anyone? I guess we're out of business then, and
No correspondence.
no, Cindy doesn't have any correspondence, so.
And Stu and Phil and I will get together sometime before next month's meeting.
We will. We will.
You're gonna call both Paul and
I will.
John?
Matter of fact, I'm sitting here looking at the keys that belong to the two of them.
Oh, okay. And if you don't do it before, I'll be back the first week in April. So
Okay.
if there's anything I can do, Stu, let me know.
Yeah.
I guess one other thing that we probably should talk about that
Yep.
I don't know would be a new business issue, but or not would be, is there a discussion of return to in-person meetings coming up?
Of doing, yeah, I saw Stu mentioned that, I think, in our last meeting. And I think Cindy, do you have any, have you heard anything around the town hall?
I haven't. I haven't heard a thing about any in-person meetings. I know that the town hall is opened up. If somebody has to meet with a resident or someone from the public, you can use the conference room now. But regarding in-person meetings, no.
Not yet.
The Board of Finances, they've scheduled something at the Woodstock Middle School for a public hearing for one of their budget meetings coming up shortly. So I guess that's something, that they're doing something at the middle school.
Yeah.
If I could, oh, I'm sorry, Cindy, go ahead.
Oh, no, that was me. I butted in, excuse me.
I just interject this. I happen to chair the Agricultural Commission, and we were going to have an in-person meeting, which was approved through the town hall, and we were going to meet in meeting room A, which is where the selectmen usually meet. it was scuttled because one of our members felt uncomfortable doing it. This, the governor opened it up, I think, on the 19th. That individual felt uncomfortable, so we didn't do it. But so all practical purposes is we really could do it. We could have done it this month, I guess. So those things are opening up.
Right.
If I could just ask the question, does anyone, what's your feeling on a meeting as a group of 6, 5 of us and Cindy?
I got my second vaccination more than 2 weeks ago,
Oh,
so
okay, you're safe.
I'm safe.
I'm an
Something-
old,
And I'd still,
I'm an old codger, so I've had mine.
you have or have not?
Yes, I have.
Okay.
How about you, Paul? You're the kid in the group.
I know it.
I'm scheduled for my first shot this Friday, and then the
Oh.
second one a month later.
Oh,
Okay, and our chairman, who has been out of the country, so to speak, he still hasn't got his.
yeah, I don't have mine yet, and I couldn't, Nancy and I could, neither of us could get it down here, so.
Believe it.
Yeah,
you
And
have
the
to
other
share-
thing, to keep in mind is that it's not just us. We sometimes, well, rarely, but
Public.
sometimes have citizens who
Yeah.
might
right.
Public declaration.
attend.
Right.
And at this point, I think about a third of the population has been vaccinated.
Mhm.
So maybe another month or so, the numbers will be up to the point where we
That's what
can
I'm thinking too.
Yeah.
feel better about that.
Right. And,
Okay, well, as
and-
it stands now, we'll
Yep.
have a Zoom meeting for any meetings until they tell us, and we'll keep you posted if we hear something in the town hall, or Cindy will let us know, and keep her ears open there. And
Now, Roger, were you the only person that didn't get your materials in the mail?
I got it just today, about
did come.
4 o'clock today. I got my, it
Oh.
said, the post office said it was supposed to be here Sunday.
Yep. I mean, obviously, another piece would be to email everybody the stuff too. So that
Yeah.
just in case you didn't get it from snail mail.
Right, yeah.
So,
But I was just checking because poor Cindy struggles to get these things in the
I
mail
know.
by Wednesday.
Yep.
And, get some guy so far away as me, that, I guess we don't plan on that, so.
right.
We appreciate it, Cindy, thank you.
We do.
And,
I'm going to put one thing out there. Tomorrow, I'm going to meet with Glenn Cardarelli from the Ponce Controls down at the monitoring station,
oh,
and
yeah.
we're going to recal the meter. And I don't know if anybody wants to be down there for that to see how that goes, what that entails.
What time
But
is it?
we'll be down there at 9 o'clock.
I've got a contractor here in the morning. I can't meet you. Sorry.
Yeah,
I would be
it's
interested.
not
though.
terribly exciting, but
Yeah.
Yeah, it should be interesting to see, but,
Yep.
so that's just, our readings appear to be going up a little bit. It's hard to tell with the excess rain and snow runoff and everything, so.
Well,
We'll
it's
just have
been a
a
while
check.
since he's been down. Yeah, it's been a while since he's been down there, so there could be a buildup of grease or something down there that's
Be a calibration issue with the
Well,
meter.
raising
Yeah, that's
things.
what I was
Yeah.
gonna mention to you too, the sand and grit in there too, Tim.
I guess
Yeah,
because
he
of that.
Yeah,
certainly.
he tries to take care of that. Yeah.
We'll
What
look
was that,
forward to
Stu?
that report next meeting.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, everyone all set?
I'd
Okay.
move to adjourn.
I'll second that motion.
Okay, let's go home. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
All right.
Good to see you all. Thank you.